published 13:22 Eastern Daylight Saving Time, the 29th of April 2018, updated 17:21 Eastern Daylight Saving Time, the 29th of April 2018. After they had enjoyed the public cuddle on the touchline before kick-off, Arsene Wenger and Sir Alex Ferguson would have been best advised to retire to Jose Mourinho's office for wine and memories. They could have put a DVD on and recalled what it used to be like. Keane versus Neville, Van Nistelrooy versus Keown, Vieira versus absolutely everybody. That would have got the blood up. TV gold and all that. At the very least, two titans of our game would have been spared this exhibition of nothingness, this painful indication of inexorably declining standards. Marwan Fellaini had the final say with an injury-time headed winner to secure all 3 points after coming on as substitute. Fellaini produced a brilliant header in injury time to give United all 3 points and break Arsenal's resistance. Arsenal players celebrate with Henrik Mkhitaryan, centre, after he equalised for the Gunners against his former club. Paul Pogba celebrates with Alexis Sanchez after giving Manchester United the lead with his close-range effort on Sunday. Arsene Wenger was presented with a gift by old rival Sir Alex Ferguson ahead of his final game as Arsenal boss against United. Wenger was greeted by both Ferguson and current United manager Jose Mourinho ahead of kick-off on Sunday afternoon. Konstantinos Mavropanos, pictured shepherding the ball away from Jesse Lingard, was handed his Arsenal debut by Wenger. "I knew this wouldn't be like the old days. It hasn't been for ages. These teams have changed. English football has changed, for better and for worse. Equally, we didn't quite realize it was going to be as anemic as this. This wasn't even United, Arsenal light. It was just a match between one team that has forgotten its identity and another not quite good enough to spot a free Sunday dinner when it's offered one. Arsenal almost got away without losing, and Wenger would have taken that. It is a long time since Arsenal have been competitive in this fixture." The game was more than 92 minutes old when Marwan Fellaini's header ensured Wenger would go home from Old Trafford with a bitter taste in his mouth once again. Nobody wanted to see Wenger embarrassed on his final visit, and he wasn't. His team weren't very good, but sadly he has grown used to that, and that is why he is leaving. Lingard plays a pass as Reiss Nelson watches on during the opening stages of the Premier League clash at Old Trafford. United Serbian midfielder Nemanja Matic plays a pass under pressure from Arsenal youngster Ainsley Maitland-Niles. It was the first time Mkhitaryan left and Sanchez right were facing the former clubs since their January move, as the Arsenal manager rested 8 players ahead of Thursday's Europa League semi-final second leg at Atletico Madrid, so it was always possible his team could have taken a hiding. For the first 45 minutes, Arsenal almost begged for one. They were really very poor, almost to the level of disinterest. Take away the fact that this was not Wenger's strongest team, and it was still possible to recognize problems that exist right through the playing structure at the Emirates. Insufficient appetite and energy. Not enough street smarts and nous. But United could score only one goal during that first half, and that arrived after 15 minutes from Paul Pogba. Subsequently, Mourinho's team were not good enough to put Arsenal away until the game was in its death throes, and that said much about them, too. Sanchez's header rebounded off Hector Bellerin and off the post into the path of Pogba, who tapped home the opening goal. The French midfielder reacted well to score the simplest of tap-ins as Arsenal's Callum Chambers watched on helplessly. Pogba celebrates in front of the Old Trafford faithful after opening the scoring in the 16th minute for United against Arsenal. The 25-year-old is embraced by his United teammates after his effort put them ahead in the Premier League matches. United won this game and they're now assured of Champions League football next season. They may yet win the FA Cup too, and that would represent a good campaign. But they won't beat Chelsea at Wembley if they play like this. Improvement has come under Mourinho, and second in the Premier League to Manchester City is no disgrace. But this is a United team that still lacks key ingredients of what the great Ferguson teams had, and on afternoons like this, it is easy to be reminded of what were once much higher standards. A one-goal lead should have been 2 or 3 by half-time. Really good United sides, in fact pretty good ones, would have taken hold of Arsenal in the first half and wrung them by the throats until there was nothing left. United's Spanish goalkeeper David De Gea reacts during a first half where he was barely tested by Arsenal's attacking players. Mkhitaryan wins an aerial ball ahead of Ashley Young during an impressive display against his former club on Sunday. Mourinho makes his point on the sidelines during the match as he locked horns with Wenger. For what could be the final time, Romelu Lukaku was forced off with an injury just 5 minutes into the second half and replaced by Marcus Rashford. It would have been one of the longest afternoons of the careers of young Arsenal players Reiss Nelson and Konstantinos Mavropanos, both of whom were making debuts here. As it was, United just let the game drift. They didn't end the contest early like they should have done and as such were vulnerable to the Arsenal improvement that came after half-time. It is all relative, of course. Arsenal did improve but they were still well short of minimum standards. Pogba's goal, side-footed in after Alexis Sanchez's header had been diverted onto the post by Hector Bellerin, had arrived after Arsenal made a mistake in midfield. Granit Xhaka the culprit. The equaliser was similar from the point of view. United players fell over each other in the centre of the field and that allowed Arsenal to break and release Henrik Mkhitaryan, who finished low with his right foot through the legs of Victor Lindelof from the edge of the penalty area. Mkhitaryan drilled home from outside the area after good work from Granit Xhaka as Arsenal drew level against United. Xhaka punches the air after the goal in contrast to Mkhitaryan's more conservative celebration against his former team. Left to right, Bellerin, Xhaka, Alex Iwobi, Mkhitaryan and Nelson are pumped up after the Armenians' goal at Old Trafford. Wenger speaks to Anthony Martial before the Frenchman was introduced as a substitute for Jesse Lingard in the 64th minute. Nacho Monreal prepares to be introduced in place of Sead Kolasinac after the Bosnian picked up an injury in the second half. The Armenian didn't celebrate with that much glee, which was a little pointless. He spent much of his time at United not really being trusted by Mourinho, and when he did play nobody ever really took to him. So if I were him, I would have celebrated until my blood vessels burst. As it was, his reaction to his goal was perfect for this game. Lame. In theory, Arsenal could have pushed on to win, but nobody who knows anything about them really expected that. At the Emirates at Christmas, they played United off the park and managed to lose 3-1, so why would it be any different here? United, predictably, carried the greater threat late on, even if they hardly kicked the door down. With half an hour left, Mourinho had thrown Fellaini on and the method of attack was clear. Long, wide and high. It's never a bad tactic against tiring bodies, and after the Belgian hit the post late on, he reached across from Ashley Young and headed the ball past David Ospina and into the corner. Some gloss for United and another away defeat for Wenger. That is 6 in a row in the Premier League. If Arsenal avoid one in Madrid on Thursday, it will be a miracle. Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang, who was marginalised for long stretches of the game, challenges Matic in a midfield aerial duel. Danny Welbeck rifles a shot on goal after coming on a substitute against his former team in the league clash at Old Trafford. Rashford had the ball in the net late on, but his effort was correctly disallowed for offside a few minutes before Fellaini's win. Wenger rages on the touchline as his final Old Trafford game as Arsenal manager ended in disappointment on Sunday. The Belgian punches the air in celebration after coming off the bench to secure United victory right at the death on Sunday. Fellaini is embraced by his teammates by the corner flag after his header secured a dramatic win for United at Old Trafford. Mourinho celebrates in front of United supporters after Fellaini's winning goal gave the home side victory over the Gunners.